Hello guys, my name is Prithvi and today I'll be presenting the critical case study in culture and ethics in business. Before we go into the topic, we will talk about what is culture. Culture is nothing but the collection of beliefs, values, behaviors, customs and attitudes that distinguish the people from one society to another. In this presentation, we will consider culture from the standpoint of a global management and we'll also address some key issues like who we are, how do we live, and how do we approach work. For this presentation, I have interviewed a person from the United States who has visited Singapore. We'll talk about the experiences and differences between the two countries. To better understand what these differences are, I have used Hofstad's cultural dimension as a base to compare the difference in the cultures between the countries. As we can see, the cultural dimension is divided into 6 parts. First is the power distance. The Americans believe in the concept of liberty and justice for all. This implies that everyone is free to express their ideas and beliefs. The American system hierarchy is only established for the sake of convenience and to better manage the company or the workplace. In the workplace, the managers and staff can interact freely with each other. They can exchange thoughts, ideas without any restrictions. This shows us that the American society is more of an egalitarian society. Next, we'll take a look at individualism versus collectivism. The American society is a very loosely knit society. The members usually look after themselves and their immediate family members. The children in most families are required to go out and work as soon as they finish their schooling or even before. This helps them to better understand how the world works and how to interact with others. An interesting phenomenon with the Americans is that they can easily interact and form a rapport with others, but they usually do not form a deep bond or friendship. This indicates that the American society is a highly individualistic society. Now we will look at masculinity versus feminism. Individualism plays a key role here. This makes people more independent and achievement driven. The Americans are motivated to perform better because they believe in the jargon the winner takes all. The better you perform, the more you get paid. It is also a common fact that a little conflict in the workplace can bring the best in people. This shows us how Americans are mostly achievement driven and tend to be a more masculine society. Next, we'll look at uncertainty avoidance. The Americans in most cases are risk takers and like to accept and try out the latest ideas. They like to venture out and establish businesses in new markets. They believe in the philosophy of the higher the risk, the higher the reward. If, for example, there's an opportunity in a new market with high risk and substantial reward, the Americans will be the first to venture out and establish their businesses. Now we look at time orientation. The Americans believe in returns on investment should happen within a brief period, which varies from 4 to 6 months from the date of the investment. Most of the companies assess the performance of their employees on a quarterly basis. This tells us that they believe in immediate returns. The Americans suffer from the effect called short-termism. This means that most businesses are oriented towards short-term planning and expect quick returns. In indulgence, the Americans believe in the philosophy of work hard and play hard. To better understand this concept, the person I have interviewed till date has traveled to more than 12 countries. The Americans don't focus on saving money but rather enjoying life. Now we'll take a look at the difference in culture between United States and Singapore. The areas which will focus are the 6 dimensions. First is the power distance. As we can see, the power distance in Singapore is higher than United States. The American society is more of an egalitarian society and in Singapore is more of an hierarchy. In individualism, the American society is a very highly individualistic society and in Singapore is more of a collectivistic society. In masculinity, both countries pretty much are around the same ballpark. The members from both countries strive for high achievement in the workplace and life. In uncertainty avoidance, as we can see, the Americans are more risk takers, whereas in Singapore, the businesses like to play it safe and they do not like to venture out and take risks. In long-term orientation, the Americans mostly plan their businesses and assessments on a short-term basis, whereas in Singapore, they plan for a longer duration, which while they invest, they expect returns in the near future of 3 to 5 years. In intelligence, both countries are almost similar. They like to enjoy life, and people in both countries seek more gratification. This shows us the cultural difference between United States and Singapore. As we can see, the culture is a very complex and diverse topic. It changes from one country to another. I hope you all enjoy the presentation. Thank you very much.